Good morning, Year 4. How are you? Welcome to your next lesson on fractions. Today we are going to be learning about tenths. But to start with, you do have your daily fluency questions. So can you have a go at answering these? No more than 4 minutes, all right? So pause the video here and off you go. How did you get on? Did you use the short written multiplication method to work out 4 multiplied by 17, which is 68? Now, if we think of how we're going to write 49 in Roman numerals, X and L. Now X is 10 and L is 50. 50 take away 10 is 40. And then we can make the 9 by adding I and X, because remember, when the X is after the I, that means the 10 is going to take away 1, which would be 9. And that was quite a tricky one. So if you got that, then fantastic work, well done. Now, calculating the area of this shape, we can count the squares and we can find out there are 9 squares. So this shape has an area of 9 squares. And number 4, complete the equivalent fractions. Now, if we can see that this shape has 8 squares altogether, that is going to be my denominator. Now, 6 of these squares are shaded, which means my fraction is 6/8. However, if we wanted to scale this down into 4 groups, we could have 4 groups of 2. And how many groups are shaded? 3 groups are shaded. So it would be 3/4 of the shape are shaded. Some more questions now just to get your brain warmed up for today's lesson. So pause the video here and have a go at completing the following questions, please. Okay, how did you go? How did you do? Did you work out that this is a circle divided into 4 parts? Therefore, my 2 fractions that it could be is 1/4 or 3/4. But because 1/4 is shaded, that is going to be 1/4. Here I have got 5 parts and 3 of them are shaded. Therefore, it's going to be 3/5. And finally, I have got 4 cubes. 3 of them are green, so 3/4 of the cubes are green. Number 2, looking at which representations show 1/3. Does the first one show 1/3? Well, we've got 3 parts and 1 of them is shaded. But are they the same size? Are they equal? No, so that does not show 1/3. For the second example, 1 part is shaded, but we have 4 parts altogether, not 3. So that does not show 1/3 either. And for the final example, we do have 3 circles and 1 is shaded. But does that show 1/3? No, because one of the circles is larger than the others. Now, here I am looking at what fractions of the flowers are blue. So we can look at the stem sentence by thinking of how many flowers we have altogether. And we can count the blue and the orange, and altogether we have got 10 flowers. Now we are looking at how many of the flowers are blue, and we can count them and find that 3 out of the 10 flowers are blue. So 3/10 of the flowers are blue. And because this has a numerator of a number greater than 1, this means it's a non-unit fraction. Now, if I want to work out which fraction of the flowers are orange, what might my new fraction be? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, we can still use the same format knowing that there are 10 flowers altogether, but this time we are working out the orange flowers. So this time it would be 7 out of the 10 flowers which are orange, so 7/10 of the flowers are orange. Is this a unit or a non-unit fraction, and why? Well done, it's a non-unit fraction because it has a numerator greater than 1, because it has a numerator of 7. Fantastic work, Year 4. Now, we have got a bar here. And if I split my bar into 10 sections, I have split my bar into tenths. And that is going to be what we are focusing on in today's lesson. We are going to focus on tenths, when an object or a bar is split up into 10 sections. Now, each of my sections are worth 1 part, so therefore 1/10. I would like to know which of these representations show 1/10 and why. Pause the video and have a think. Okay, how did you do? Did you notice that on the first option that there are 10 circles. All of them are equal. They have equal sizes, equal shapes. And one of them is shaded in. So 1/10 is represented by this first shape. So that one is correct. My second example, how many parts do I have? That's right, I have 10 parts again, and one part is shaded. But what's incorrect here? Well, we can see if we split it and shade in half of the shape, it isn't actually shaded in half. So it's incorrect and it's not equal, so that is incorrect too. This one here, the next one, has shown a circle split into 5 parts. Now at the moment this doesn't show 1/10 because there are 5 parts, not 10. But we could split each of these 5 parts into more parts. We could split them in half. How many sections do we now have? That's right, we now have 10, and one of them is shaded, so it shows 1/10. And finally here we can see that we do have 10 parts. It is equally split down the middle, and we can see that we've got 1/2 here and 1/2 here, making 1 part out of 10, and that shows 1/10. Super job if you got all of those right, remembering that to be an accurate fraction, it needs to be split into equal parts. So going back to our bar model from earlier, we have looked at how we can split our model into tenths, 10 parts. And we recognise that this part shaded in green is 1 part out of the 10 I have altogether. So it represents 1/10. Now, I have shaded in more parts. How many parts have I shaded in now? And what would my fraction be? Pause the video and have a think. Did you recognise that I'd shaded in 9 parts out of 10? So my new fraction would be 9/10. And if I've shaded in 9/10 of my shape, what fraction is not shaded? Pause the video and have a think. How did you do? Did you work out 1 part is not shaded? So 1/10 is not shaded. Let's have another go at an example. This time, what fraction of my shape is shaded? Pause the video and have a think. Did you notice that 4 shapes, 4 parts are shaded out of 10? So my fraction is 4/10. So how many are not shaded? What fraction of my shape is not shaded? How did you do? Did you count the white shapes and work out there are 6 remaining out of the 10 we had altogether? Therefore, we have a fraction of 6/10, which is not shaded. And what types of fractions are these? Are they unit or non-unit fractions? Fantastic, they are non-unit fractions because they have a numerator greater than 1. Okay, here we have some cubes. We want to know what fraction of the cubes are red and what fraction of the cubes are yellow. Now, altogether we can count them and see we have got 10 altogether. We have got tenths. Now, to work out how many red cubes we have, it's going to be something over 10. Can you work out how many red cubes we have? That's right, we have got 3 red cubes. Therefore, my fraction of the cubes which are red are 3/10. Now, to work out how many yellow cubes we are going to look at how many we have altogether. We have got 10 cubes altogether. How many are yellow? That's right, 7 cubes are yellow, so 7 out of the 10 cubes altogether are yellow, which is the same as 7/10. Now we could use a part-whole model to help us with this. We know that our top number is how many cubes or how many of that thing we have altogether. We can partition this the way we have into our red cubes and our yellow cubes. So it would look like this. We have partitioned our whole number into 3/10 and 7/10. And how many do we have altogether? We have got 10/10 altogether, 10 cubes altogether, which is the same as 1. What I would like you to do now is have a go, pause the video and work out what fraction of the cubes are red, blue and yellow. Off you go. How did you do? Did you work out that 2 out of the 10 cubes are red, 5 out of the 10 cubes are blue and 3 out of the yellow cubes are 10? We can use a part-whole model to help us with this. We know that we have partitioned our whole number into 2/10 5/10, and 3/10. And altogether, we have got 10/10. Do you remember what 10/10 is the same as? 1. Super. Now it's your turn to have a go at questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the worksheet. Pause the video and off you go. Okay, our next question is 7/10. 7 out of 10 of the gummy bears are purple. What fraction could be blue and what fraction could be yellow? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, well, if we know that we can put our 7 out of the 10 gummy bears here, how many more gummy bears do we need to make 10/10? That's right, we need 3 gummy bears to make it 10/10. So if we're thinking of what fraction could be blue, we could decide to have all the teddy bears blue, which would mean 3/10 would be blue and 0/10 would be yellow, and that's the same as 0. Working systematically and taking one blue one away and exchanging it for a yellow, we could have 2 blue, which are 2/10, and 1 yellow, 1/10. We could then take another blue one away and be left with 1 blue, which is 1/10, and 2 yellows, which is 2/10. Or we could be left with 0 blues and 3 yellow teddy bears, which is 3/10. Now it's your turn to have a go at the rest of the worksheet. Pause the video and then return when you're back ready to tackle those problem-solving questions, please. Okay, so my problem-solving question today is Ruth is thinking of a 10th. So she knows her denominator is going to be what number? That's right, her denominator is going to be 10 when she is dividing and thinking of tenths. Now, she's given us clues to work out what her number could be, her fraction. She says the numerator is smaller than 9 but larger than 1. What numbers are smaller than 9 but larger than 1? Have a think. That's right. The numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 are all numbers that are smaller than 9 but larger than 1. So either of these numbers could be her numerator. But she's also given us one more tip and hint. She says the numerator is an even number. Now, remind me, Year 4, what's an even number? That's right, we've got even numbers such as 2, 4, 6 and 8 and 0. So, what out of these numbers are my even numbers? That's right, 2, 4, 6 and 8 are my even numbers. So we know that Ruth's fraction has to be a number smaller than 9, larger than 1, but an even number. So Ruth's fraction could be 2, 6 or 8. So starting with 2, 6 or 8, but possibly 4 too. And we know that Ruth's fraction is a 10th, the denominator is a 10, so the numerator could either be 2 over 10, 2/10, 6/10 or 8/10. And it could also be 4/10 too, because 4 is an even number and it's a number larger than 1 but smaller than 9. Are either of these fractions a unit fraction? No, they aren't, are they? Why are they not unit fractions? That's right, they have a numerator which is greater than 1, which makes them a non-unit fraction. Fantastic work, Year 4. Okay, as always, you have either the blue problem-solving questions to complete or the orange problem-solving questions to complete. Can you make sure that you do your workings out on a different sheet of paper, but you label them according to the question? Just because then that gives you more space to really explain your answer and show the possibilities, okay? Now there's an extension here if you would like to have a go at it. So it's filling in the different missing answers. Now, I have to say I've been really impressed with Alana. Her presentation was absolutely fantastic in class, what I saw on Friday. So what Alana has done, she's really explained her answers. She's really modelled what she's done and she's really explained her thoughts. Answering full sentences, explaining your reasoning, using the word because. Have a fantastic rest of your day, Year 4, and I will see you in our next lesson. Bye!